One of the most powerful features of 3ds Max is the modifier stack. As you would expect, MaxScript can be used to add, manipulate and delete modifiers. Adding unique or even instance modifiers to a large number of objects using the 3ds Max user interface can be difficult, while in MaxScript it is a matter of a single line of code. A modifier can be created the same way as a scene object, by calling its constructor function, which is described in the MaxScript reference. A scene object, for example a box, can be created by calling its constructor box with 0 or more parameters. The result is an object in the viewport and output to the listener. When creating a modifier, we can also call its constructor, for example bend, and the result is printed to the listener, but there is no visible effect in the viewport. This is because the modifier instance we just created is stored in the user variable deMod and sits in MaxScript memory, but is not applied to any objects yet. We can use the function addModifier to add the modifier bend, which is stored in the variable deMod, to the box we created, which is stored in the variable theBox. The addModifier function expects one or more objects to add a modifier to and an instance of a modifier class. When we execute this code, we get a bend modifier applied on top of a box. Instead of using 0 construction parameters, we can pass some parameters like the height and the height segments to the box and the angle to the bend modifier. If we execute all these lines, we get a box with height of 110 height segments and the bend modifier applied on top with an angle of 90 degrees. Obviously, we can use the addModifier function in a for loop in order to apply the same modifier to multiple objects. For example, if we create a couple of boxes, select them and execute the line for all in selection, do add modifier to the object all using the modifier that we created previously. This is going to apply an instance of the same modifier as before with the angle of 90 degrees to all selected objects. Since the addModifier function is mappable, we can do absolutely the same in a much shorter fashion by creating a couple of objects, selecting them and calling the line addModifier current selection the modifier. This is again an instance of the same modifier applied to all the selected objects. In order to apply a unique modifier to every single selected object, we will have to use the for loop again, but this time instead of using the user variable deMod containing a single bend modifier, we are going to create a new unique bend modifier for every single object in this current selection. Let's create a couple of objects again. And then select them all and execute the line for all in